Hey guys, Kiel here, you're watching Gamer. Welcome back. Now, I'm gonna discuss the future of Nintendo. Something that's been going on in my head that I've been thinking about for a couple of days and weeks now. What maybe the future of Nintendo could be. Now, first off, in a previous video I discussed that the next Nintendo dedicated home console, codename NX, was coming too soon, in my opinion. You can check that video out. But of course, my opinion has no effect on Nintendo's business plan. So if all the rumors are true and we'll see the Nintendo NX in 2016, then it's just gonna be that way. I have no control over that, but hey, we'll just ride it out, the Wii U life cycle, because like I said, I want the Wii U to have a full life cycle and more games, but hey, we'll see what it will bring. Anyway, like I said, the title of this video, the future of Nintendo. Well, of course, sadly, Mr. Iwata passed away. And he was of course, the president of Nintendo, and of course helped bring in the Wii and the DS, which were major commercial success. And then of course the 3DS and the Wii U. Of course, the Wii U is struggling. That's the down part for Nintendo. But still, Mr. Iwata was a driving force behind the consoles and the hardware. Now, of course, he sadly passed away. But still, if you think about it, if the NX is coming in 2016, and all the rumors are true, then the R&D and the development of that new hardware is already finished. So if the new hardware is coming in 2016, it will be kinda like the legacy of Mr. Iwata. Because he was there when the hardware was developed, when all the ideas from paper came to reality. So in that case, it's kind of his legacy, because it's his last hardware that's gonna be released. Because the rumors are, they're gonna ramp up production in October for parts. So if that's really the case, that entire development process and hardware development R&D process is finished. So they're gonna make the console, and nothing on the console will change. Because if we're gonna see it in 2016, it's too late for that. Too much money has been put in that development. The NX will be what Mr. Iwata and the R&D team at Nintendo wanted that console to be. So like I said, it will be kinda like his legacy. Anyway, no matter who they now make president of Nintendo, the NX is gonna be what it's gonna be in Mr. Iwata's head. So, of course, I'm very curious to see what NX will now be. Anyway, then of course comes the question, who will replace Mr. Iwata's function in Nintendo? I don't know who they're gonna pick. No one probably does except the high bosses at Nintendo. But Mr. Iwata was the first president of Nintendo that wasn't part of the original Nintendo family. He was a game developer who climbed up in the ranks in Nintendo and became the president because he was a brilliant businessman at that, and of course a good game developer. So now, of course, begs the question, who they're gonna put in his seat. Some people have been saying, Mr. Miyamoto should do it, but he's too much of a gamer, game developer. He's too much of that. I don't see him really as a businessman like Mr. Iwata. Half of him was an amazing game developer and a problem solver, a bug fixer in games, and that's his creative side. And the other side, he was also a brilliant businessman. But Mr. Miyamoto looks more like the creative game developer, and not really the business side. So, who will they put in Mr. Iwata's place now? This is just an idea that's been going on in my head, But in my personal opinion, it would be a smart move to put Reggie Fils-Aimé at the head of Nintendo. Now, Reggie is already the big boss of Nintendo USA. He was very close to Mr. Iwata and Miyamoto. Like, Iwata, Miyamoto and Reggie are like the faces of Nintendo of this era. If you look at an E3 or a Nintendo Direct, they were always present in those videos or conferences. And you know, in that sense, Reggie had the same mindset as Mr. Iwata in like the business side and like the fun humor side, because they did a video where they fought each other like Smash characters, you know. He has that same fun lightness of him that we all come to expect and love from Nintendo. But he's a businessman also. And why would I then put Reggie instead of just leading the US Nintendo to the world, like in Japan Nintendo? Because of one big thing. Like, yes, Nintendo is a Japanese company, but the Japanese market has been switched like almost entirely to mobile or handheld, but lesser now. Like, the Japanese market isn't that important anymore for like developers of hardware like dedicated game consoles. The Japanese market has shifted to mobile, in lesser extent to handhelds, and then like really in less extent home consoles. But like the Western market, North America, Europe are still very dedicated to dedicated home consoles. So, and this you can also see like in when Sony launched the PlayStation 4, it launched first in North America. Like back in the day, a Japanese game hardware developer would launch the console first in Japan and then in the rest of the world. That has kind of shifted because the Japanese market ain't that interested anymore in home consoles. So, if that's the case, and Nintendo was like already was going to change when Mr. Iwata like was still there, maybe it's a smart move to put Reggie at the head of Nintendo. Because changes Mr. Iwata made were like, well, we're gonna partner up with DeNA to make mobile games. Which was of course a natural move. Like for the Japanese market, mobile games are very important. If Nintendo makes through DeNA mobile games, the Japanese market is like covered. Now you need the rest of the world. Yes, in the rest of the world there will also be like mobile games played on their phone or tablet, but like the real Nintendo fans there want a dedicated handheld or a dedicated home console. So that's a pretty big market you want to cover, especially like because the Wii U isn't really commercially successful. Nintendo's already stated that the NX, a dedicated home console, will blow everyone's mind. It's gonna be like a really cool machine, probably then aimed at the Western market. It would only be like a smart move to put Reggie on top of Nintendo because he knows the Western market perfectly. That's just something in my head. I don't have any information that that's gonna be the case, but in my head and in my heart it just feels right. Because like I said, in the Nintendo Directs, you always saw Mr. Iwata, Mr. Miyamoto and Mr. Reggie together. So if one of those three, like Mr. Iwata was president, now it is just logical in my head that Reggie Fils-Aimé takes that place, because Miyamoto is too creative in like he wants to make games, he doesn't want to like lead the business side of things. That's just something I get from the interviews, and when you see the person on the internet and on TV, he's like a very, it's almost in, with every respect and in all good intent, a child trapped in a man's body. Not to like disrespect him or anything, but in a good way, you know, he has a lot of spirit and enthusiasm, like he wants to make games, an idea can pop in his head and he makes it into a game, and that's what he's good at. So putting him in like the business side will damp his creativity. I think. So that's why I'm going with Reggie. We'll see what's gonna happen. Probably in the next Nintendo Direct we'll get more information. But hey, that was like what I think. Who's gonna fill in the president's seat? Now, like I said, if NX is coming, it's gonna be Mr. Iwata's legacy in 2016. But let's focus now also on what's coming in the near future today for my Wii U. Like I said, I want the Wii U. I have a lot of games, a 5-year life cycle. It's not gonna happen probably. It's only gonna get a 4-year life cycle, and that will also explain like the lack of high quality games in the E3 presentation of this year. People are like, they're not mad or anything, they were just disappointed that they didn't get Zelda and Metroid or a new Mario. Like, Star Fox is cool, and Yoshi's Woolly World is going to, Mario Maker is going to be really cool, but hey, they're like, it was underwhelming, the presentation. Most people had that feeling. But of course, if you really think about it, there's an explanation for it. Wii U's struggling, they're gonna ride out the Wii U's life, only 4 years, or even 3.5, and then they're gonna focus all their energy on NX. So that's why there are less games coming for Wii U, because all those game development teams are working their ass off to make games for the NX, so when the NX launches, it will have a cool launch titles to show to the world, like, here's a Nintendo, a new dedicated Nintendo console, and here's an amazing library of games ready to go with this new system. Because that was one of the critiques people had with the Wii U. The launch only had like Super Mario U, and then a couple of third-party games, like most of them who were ports from PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 of games that were already out. Like Tekken and Mass Effect and Batman Arkham City, like, those were old games that were just ported to the Wii U. Yeah, we got Zombie U, and that was about it. You know, like, people weren't really excited about the launch titles of the Wii U. Nintendo knows it, they're gonna fix it. And that's the explanation why we are now not getting all those amazing titles for the Wii U. That's harsh to say, because Wii U is still gonna get games, but not as many as we would like, or the titles we would like. But hey, there's still games coming. And I've looked up which games, and I made a small list, like, that I'm gonna share with you, because it's not all bad. The Wii U is still getting games. Anyway, first up, after E3, we already received Lego Jurassic World. Yes, this is a multiplat, but the Lego base comes to Wii U, thank God. Then Nintendo's Art Academy, indie title but on a physical disc for the Wii U called Teslagrad. It's a platformer. And then, only in Europe, Yoshi's Woolly World. Like, North America still has to wait to October for some reason to get that title, but here in Europe and Belgium, I already got it, and it's great. So that's what's out now. Then, in August, we're finally getting the Wii U exclusive Devil's Third. And it's gonna... the 28th of August is the release date officially. Now, it was weird for me, like, when the E3 presentation hit, the Nintendo Direct, they didn't show off anything of Devil's Third, which I thought was kind of weird, because the game still needed to come out. They could have given that game a big push, but they didn't. Hey, in 2014 E3 it got a push, but in 2015 it didn't. But it's still coming out as an exclusive. Then, of course, the big one, in September 11th, Super Mario Maker. That's gonna be the killer fall game for your Wii U system. If you think about it, it's like, why didn't Nintendo do this sooner? You know, it looks amazing. It's like the perfect game to make for the Wii U. It's like, with the Wii U gamepad, you finally can make those levels perfect with the touchscreen. Like, it's easy, it's accessible, it all makes sense. I think it's going to be an amazing title. I'm so looking forward to it. Like Super Mario Maker, damn. So cool, because of course this year Mario will have its 30th anniversary. This is the 25th anniversary edition for the Wii, with all the old NES Super Mario games on this. Amazing little collection I have here. Really love this Wii game. Anyway, still in September. Also like a smaller title, but it's coming. Rodia the Sky Soldier. This is also a Nintendo exclusive. It's coming to 3DS and Wii U. Also some sort of platforming. But hey, also we still are gonna get a new Animal Crossing in September. Then a lot of games have been announced that they're coming this fall, but don't really have release dates yet. They have months or like periods. And like one of them that's gonna come out in December this year will be Xenoblade Chronicle X. This game is already out in Japan. It looks very interesting. It's gonna be a very big open world game where you have to fight monsters, collect stuff, have giant mechs. It's a big sci-fi game. Like, you can pre-order it and they're not even asking $60 for it. It's like in Belgium you can get it for 55 euros, I think. It's not like the normal asking price for a game. So it's gonna be a lot of game for your money. Like, it just looks like a massive game. Like, if you're into like the sci-fi role-playing adventure explore game, it's gonna be something for you. Also in December, confirmed, will be Fatal Frame Zero, or also known as Project Zero. This is a horror game. The Fatal Frames games were already on PlayStation 2 back in the day, also on Wii. Now it's gonna get a Wii U game out there. If you like horror games, they're pretty good. Check that out. Then of course, games that are just announced as Fall 2015 games are of course a big one: Star Fox Zero and Mario Tennis. And like, we don't have release dates for them yet. They're like somewhere in the fall these games are gonna come out. Like, Star Fox is gonna be the big one, together with Super Mario Maker, and in North America Yoshi's Woolly World. But hey, pretty decent titles in there for your Wii U. So yeah. And then I'm also going to talk about this were of course the Nintendo exclusive games, but because there are more games coming that are multi-plat that are also going to be on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. One of that is also in September, and it's called Mighty Number 9. Yes, this is a spiritual successor to Mega Man. That's also coming to the Wii U. Yes, but it's coming to every platform available, so hey, but it's cool. And also this year, Lego The Avengers. All Lego games also come to Nintendo platform because they come to everything. But it's cool, if you have a Wii U, you can buy Lego The Avengers on your Wii U. But then of course, the big one, like, that is now confirmed as a Wii U title still, but I'm kinda guessing they're gonna do the Twilight Princess move on it. Like, maybe it's coming to Wii U and the next. Maybe it's only coming to Wii U. I don't know. I'm of course talking about Zelda for the Wii U. Currently it's just called The Legend of Zelda Wii U. They could push it back to also make it a launch game for NX. Maybe it's just like the first quarter of 2016, that's their big game, the swan song of the Wii U. Zelda Wii U, bam, then nothing anymore until NX launches. We don't know, but that's a big question mark. Of course, Zelda. What they showed off like 2 E3s ago with the Legend of Zelda trailer, it looked awesome. I'm so hoping it still is a Wii U title, because the Wii U, yes, it got Zelda Wind Waker HD, but it didn't get its real own Zelda adventure. Like, if you think about it, the Nintendo had its own Legend of Zelda, Super Nintendo, N64 had 2 amazing titles just for itself. GameCube actually had you can debate 3 Zelda titles for it because of the Twilight Princess thing, where it was on a launch game for the Wii, and one of the last games for the Nintendo GameCube that were awesome. Because I didn't have a Wii at launch, and I wanted my Twilight Princess with normal controls, with a normal controller. I have Twilight Princess on my GameCube, because it originally was a GameCube game that they pushed back to port it also to Wii. So that's why I chose for the GameCube version, because that was the original version this game was developed for. So if you think then, Wind Waker, Four Swords, Twilight Princess, the GameCube got 3 Zeldas. The Wii then only got 1 dedicated Zelda, which is of course Skyward Sword. If you count Twilight Princess, it got 2. So now we're at the Wii U. The Wii U got Wind Waker HD, that's 1, and it's a re-release. So it's gonna need Zelda Wii U to be on the Wii U, because otherwise the Wii U does not have a dedicated Zelda game on it. And that would be a bloody shame. I'm sorry. My Wii U needs at least 1 original Zelda game on it. And I'm hoping that Zelda Wii U is coming out in 2016, early 2016, before NX launches, and it's gonna be a Wii U exclusive, and bam, then like the next Mario and Metroid and all that stuff can launch with the NX. Yeah, I know. Big discussion there, lots of things that were going on in my head, all of course revolving Nintendo, its games, my Wii U. But hey, all those things were swirling in my head, I just had to get it out there, so that's why I made this video. So, who do you think is gonna replace Mr. Iwata? Do you think Zelda Wii U is coming for Wii U, or will it gonna push it to NX? Are you looking forward to NX? What do you think the future of Nintendo will be? Leave me in the comments below. I'm gonna read it, I'm gonna reply. Let's share amazing thoughts about this. Anyway, that was it. I'm Kjell from Gamer. So all I can say is, enjoy and keep playing.